Hi, I'm Bronwyn and I have chronic myeloid leukemia. I got my official diagnosis today, I suppose, but I did know from about a week and a half ago that I probably had this. And then maybe 2.5 weeks ago it was first mentioned to me. So it's moved pretty fast actually. I've decided to make these videos to kind of follow my journey and see what happened. The main reason is I found it quite difficult to find stories of people's experiences with the medication online. I found lots of forums and I found lots of scientific information, but I guess I wanted to hear more from people who were going through it and taking the drugs, and yeah, so I've decided to make my videos to watch my journey since I haven't started the meds yet, and it could be interesting. Plus I think it'll be good for me because I tend to be someone who is very go with the flow and very easygoing. I don't normally overthink anything, and this seems like something I should overthink or take more seriously, so maybe having videos that I make that I can look back on and that it gives me time to think and process things through is a good idea. Today is video number 1, so I think what we'll start with is diagnosis. Like I said, I first heard this about 2.5, maybe 3 weeks ago now. And the reason I heard about it is similar to what many people, I guess, experience. I had a normal blood test and the results came back with really high white blood cell count and high platelet count as well. I live in Japan, so I am so grateful to the Japanese health service. If you work for a Japanese company, more often than not you have to go for an annual health check. You have to, it's just mandatory. So they can make sure that everyone's healthy and okay, and catch things early. I felt fine. I mean, I was tired, I had a swollen ankle and I had some like hip pain, but you know, I figured, you know, I'm getting older. I mean, I'm not ancient, I'm 31, but I just thought, you know, this is normal. I work hard, work long hours, that's why I'm tired. I like gymnastics. I twisted my ankle a few times in the past. I was like, that's probably why it's swollen. Hip too, I just figured, yeah, I shouldn't be doing gymnastics anymore, I'm too old. Yeah, anyway, I felt fine. So the point is, sorry, sidetrack. The point is, I would never have gone to the hospital if I was back home in the UK or Wales where I'm from. So very grateful because they actually caught this very early. Alright, so what happened was I went to my health check as normal, and usually they would send you the results via post about a month later, 3 to 4 weeks later. This time they called me the next day and said, hey, we need you to come back immediately. And to be honest, I thought I had somehow messed up the results because I had had a beer the night before, and you're not supposed to drink the night before the tests. And I had had a coffee 3 hours before, something you're not supposed to do. So I figured, oh, I've messed up the tests, how embarrassing, I'll have to go in and explain. So I went in expecting that, and the doctor at the clinic just said very quickly and abruptly, we think you have leukemia. And I thought, no, that's not correct. Definitely wrong, I feel fine, and I had zero connection to that disease, to be honest with you. In my mind, it just felt like the wrong thing. It didn't feel like something I had. And so they said, we'll redo the test now just to make sure that the numbers weren't weird. So I said, yes, let's do that. So we did the test. I think I hung around for an hour or two, and then they called me back in and they said, yeah, the numbers have shown again very high white blood cell count. It had actually gone up since the day before as well, and high platelets. And so they said, we think you have leukemia. Again, I thought they were wrong. They were jumping to something very quickly, and I don't know, I've never known anyone who's had leukemia, and it just didn't feel right. So I didn't believe it. So I didn't feel too panicked at that point, to be honest. I just figured this is some kind of weird mix-up. I'll just go along with what's happening and I'm sure we'll figure it out soon. So they were quite stressed because the clinic, when you get the health check, it's a general clinic. They're only there to make sure that, you know, workers are healthy, and just, yes, kind of stamp for the company, like, yeah, your workers are fine. So they said, you've got to go to the hospital immediately, you've got to go see the blood specialist. Get a taxi now. I was like, okay, drama, but fine. So I got in a taxi, went to the hospital, and then the blood specialist was much calmer. He said, yep, we're just going to redo all the tests. There's a few different reasons why your white blood cell count could be so high. So what we'll do is we'll do another full blood test to figure it out. They did a CT, full body CT, they did x-ray, and they said, come back in a week and a half and we'll be able to tell you something more. Great, so that kind of put me at ease. I thought they were wrong, the clinic was wrong, I don't have leukemia, it's something else. And as soon, obviously, as I left, I started Googling reasons why you would have a high white blood cell count. And I found this one website and it had a list of maybe 5 or 6 things that would cause that. And on that list was rheumatoid arthritis. So I immediately thought that's what it was. I felt, not as with the leukemia thing, I didn't feel any connection to it. When I saw rheumatoid arthritis, I felt, yes, that's what I have. Because my grandmother was diagnosed with that when she was in her mid-30s, 31. My ankle was swollen and had been swollen for, I don't know, 4 months, 5 months? Quite a long time. My hip pain, I thought, oh, it all adds up, that's what it is. And, you know, the doctor didn't think to ask me about that because maybe he thinks I'm too young to get it, I don't know. So I spent the next week and a half researching in detail rheumatoid arthritis, finding communities. Like I said, I like gymnastics, I'm not good, but I like doing it, so I was also googling, oh, can I still do gymnastics if I have rheumatoid arthritis? And so on, so on, so on, so on. Skip ahead a week and a half and I go back and the doctor, the blood specialist, tells me, actually we think you have chronic myeloid leukemia based on your new results. So I guess now I know they'd found the what's it called, Philadelphia chromosome. I still don't really know too much about that, but anyway, they found that and I think it was at something like 94%, I'm not sure. But anyway, they found that, and then they said, so you're gonna have to go get a bone marrow biopsy now, so that we can figure out what stage you're at. I was like, oh no, because I'd heard terrible things about those, and I am a massive wuss when it comes to blood injections, needles, so I didn't want to do it, and it was really unpleasant. Not to scare anyone who's going to have it done, it's fine, like it is fine, it doesn't even hurt that much, to be honest with you. It's just that I'm terrified of that kind of thing, and so yeah, they did it. Regardless, they did it, they got the samples and they said come back again in like a week and a half and we'll be able to give you more details and also confirm that you definitely do have this, because like, again, I think they needed to do that to 100% confirm it, so that okay, maybe this is more serious. So I started researching it a little bit more and I found this blog of this one man who'd been admitted to hospital because he had swollen ankles and hip pain. I was like, god damn it, and he had leukemia. I was like, oh, okay, those symptoms match. So skip ahead and we get to today. So that's when I went back and got the official diagnosis and he said, yeah, we confirmed you have chronic myeloid leukemia. We caught it really early, so again, shout out to the Japanese healthcare system, thank you, thank you, thank you. And we want to start treatment. So tonight I'm going to take my pills for the first time and I'm quite nervous because I read obviously about horrific side effects, and the doctor listed a bunch for me as well. He was really nice. But yeah, he kind of said there's a few things that could happen, maybe they won't, it doesn't happen to everyone, but it could happen and we'll monitor it closely. Things like fluid buildup in the lungs, kidney and liver damage, what else did he say? Vomiting, nausea, pleasant things like that. So those are the things that we are going to look out for. I take my pills tonight before I go to bed. And then they also gave me another pill to take in the mornings, which should mean that, I think it helps with your stomach being upset. Actually, I'll read you what the pills are, I have it here. So the pill they've got me on for the leukemia is Sprycel, to keep you spry. And they want me to take 100 milligrams? Yeah, once a day. And then the other one is lansoprazole to stop me from feeling sick, I think. Yeah. So my plan is I will film myself throughout this and see how I take to the pills, and hopefully this is helpful for someone, but if not, it's helpful for me, like I said, to keep me in tune with what's going on with my body. The other one thing I wanted to mention is the price of this drug. So it's very expensive. They don't have a generic version of it yet, so you have to get the brand one. And in Japan, healthcare is good and you do have insurance. So the government covers 70% of your medical costs usually. And they are covering 70% of this. But the problem is it's so expensive that even though they're covering 70%, it's insanely high. So I paid today 114,000 yen for 20 days worth of pills. So I don't know, 114,000 yen, it's about £800 or something like that, or maybe more, I don't know, maybe $1,000, I don't know, I need to check. It's a lot of money and it was only for 20 days, so that's a disaster. The good thing is I was planning anyway on moving back to the UK in February next year because it's been 10 years in Japan. I thought, time to go home, and I will have the NHS. I will have free medical care, so that's good. So I just have to keep paying for maybe 4 months, and then I can enjoy the NHS. But yeah, that's my update. I'll film myself taking the pills tonight before I go to bed. And then I guess I'll do an update video tomorrow night to see how it went. Bye! Okay, day 1.